Hey, this is Mark at VideoGameMuseum.com. I want to show you how to clean a Sega Genesis cartridge. The outside of this cartridge is actually pretty clean, so we're going to focus mostly on the inside. Outside can be cleaned with, Windex, Goo Gone, things like that. Just be careful on the label. If you have stickers that you're trying to take off, use a hairdryer to heat them up. But the inside of this, just like any other pin, cartridge and pin-based system, they got corroded over time. They're just little copper pins inside there, and those make contact with springs inside the system. Essentially, that would were pieces of metal that would push down and read, conduct electricity through the game and read. When those wouldn't make good contact, you'd have problems, and of course, corrosion gets in the way of making good contact. So these can be cleaned in a number of different ways. My favorite is using just good old WD-40. Let's be honest, what can't WD-40 do? I spray it in the cap of a little, the container, and dip a Q-tip in there and scrub the contact pretty well. Or other people like to use rubbing alcohol, either work pretty well. It's all a matter of preference, and you find what works for you. A lot of people say they've got some sort of secret solution, and whatever. Those ones work pretty good for me. Of course, I want to just open up this game to show you what exactly the process looks like on camera. You don't have to open your game. Like I said, you can just scrub it on the inside, pretend you're brushing your teeth there with a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol or WD-40. So I have a 4.5 millimeter security bit. We sell these in our store, and it just looks like a little hex screw there. It fits into the, you can see that special security bit there. There are different tricks for opening these, but obviously the security bit's the easiest one. Slides into a screwdriver handle, and here we go. Alright, both those screws are undone. Just going to set this off to the side. You can see the board there. It's a little dirty, not too bad. This side's a little dirtier, especially on the end there. So like I said, WD-40 will do a pretty decent job. Let me show you how that goes. Okay, obviously we're going to get some corrosion left over behind from this method, but you can see that the Q-tip is dirtier now than when I started. I'm going to grab a fresh set of Q-tips and do that a little bit more. But even this method or rubbing alcohol is not going to be 100%, so I'm going to show you a pretty awesome method. You hear a lot of people on eBay talking about the fact that they're selling polished games, and of course all that means that is they're polishing these copper contacts. So they take basically a copper cleaner, like Twinkle or whatever. This one happens to just be the one I'm using. I got it at my local hardware store. They recommended it, thought a lot of it. So check out whichever one you like or people recommend to you. Just open up the container there, lid off, sponge inside, pick up a little bit of that cleaner. The stuff smells pretty good actually. I'm going to put it on the contacts here. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. Put a little on this side too. Just read the instructions on it, see what the sitting time is. I found with this one I don't have to wait very long. Maybe 15 seconds or so. So of course as kids we're knuckleheads and we're blowing into cartridges to get them to work better, mostly as an issue for the original NES, but Heck, even Genesis through N64 had some challenges with reading at time. So little did we know that we're blowing in, Diet Coke and Cheetos and whatever else we had in our mouth into these cartridges, which made them dirtier in the long run. So I don't know that we were really helping much. Maybe the moisture helped in the short term. Alright, so had that cleaner set for a little bit. I'm going to just take a clean section of this rag. You can see it's fairly clean. And work that rubbing cleaner along these contacts. So the copper cleaner is getting taken off, and a little abrasion there at the same time. So there it is, brightening up. It's about as clean as you're going to get it. And of course there's a, you can see what's left over on the rag there, so obviously it picked up some grime. So there you have it. Whoops, backwards. Fortunately they put these holes off center, otherwise we'd be putting together our cartridges wrong. So we have a clean game cartridge. Opening it up is pretty nice too. This one's not bad, but often you'll get dust and all sorts of nastiness on the inside of here. And that can be cleaned off a little bit more easily if you're opening up the game. We're just going to put it back together, make sure we get those holes lining up. I'm going to take the bit out of that screwdriver and just do this by hand to tighten these up. Start them out. So all I'm doing is tightening up these screws. Alright, I'm going to put it back in the screwdriver and do the home stretch. Okay, so there's Sonic the Hedgehog number 2, nice and clean on the inside, and ready to play for whoever gets this game next. Alright, happy retro gaming. Check out our tools and tips at videogamemuseum.com. We have these security bits and a bunch of other cool stuff, and hope you all the best as you're restoring your Sega Genesis and other games. This will obviously work as a cleaning method for pretty much anything else that's cartridge based. Doesn't matter if it's N64 or NES or whatever. So just be careful as you're cleaning them. Don't damage anything. When in doubt, just proceed with caution, and best of luck.